Hello and welcome back to Elden Ring. Last time we ended up clearing out the 4 belfries and following each teleporter to where they lead. And now we're up here at the road to the manor, just outside King's Realm Ruins. We have, I think it's Grandmaster or Smithing Master E.G. Here. I accidentally talked to him before. He literally just introduces himself. To get here, you can either go through this door, or like I did, Road Torrent, and then just jumped. You can double jump from this rock where the feathers are over and land over here and get safe. We're first going to knock out this place since there's a boss fight. See? Invisible. Now, we have Vike Spear. We have that for a special purpose. The guys here you can just kind of sprint through. It's not really... It's kind of worth killing them, but I mean, they're garbage anyways. What you're gonna find here is very minimal anyways. The boss fight's the main thing. So we run over here, jump down. Oh, landed on it. Nice. This one, I believe, sucks because it's... Yeah. Royal Revenant. I hate Revenants. At least my fireballs hit hard. And that he's distracted by the skeletons. Yeah, if you use a healing spell, you'll burn him down because he's weak to those. I don't because I'm lazy and don't want to bother. And I don't like the fact that you have to stay still and cast it. Frozen Needle. I'm not going to use this, but this is actually a really good sword. Quick little use here. Doesn't have any int scaling. I believe the projectile scales though. So, standard run-of-the-mill rapier, sea guy, stab, but heavy. Lets you shoot little frost things at them, which honestly, it's not bad. Like, if you're a dex build, go for it. It's actually kind of a fun weapon. Oh, I'm gonna eat that. Oh, I didn't. Cool. And I mean, these are free shots. That is something I cannot stress enough. It's free to just go like that and launch those. So they're absolutely worth using if you can. Now that's done, cleared and out of the way. Quick reset so I'm not getting shot. We gotta go to Caria Manor. This also is where you have to go to continue Roger's quest line, since he introduces you to Ronnie, and then that lets you start that. We'll do the ride-up. I hate the ride-up, but it's not difficult once you know what you're doing. As you can see, you take damage. If you kind of ride along the rocks here, for the most part, you'll be safe. Since it seems like it's primarily the road that gets targeted. And boom, you're safe. Now, if you remember from a while ago, I had gotten the torch pole here. This, or Vike Spear, will come in handy clearing this place. If you have either one of these, use them. Trust me, it will save you so much time and so much effort. And if you have Black Flame, you're fine too. Preferably use a combination of the weapon and a fire spell, because these guys have a weakness to fire. You don't see it here, but now that he's landed, unless he wants to keep moving around being difficult. There we go. Easy. Why it doesn't proc on the initial fireball? No. Ah, that was cheap. But this at least lets you see the spear in action. It's solid. It does what it says on the box, you know, it burns guys. The same thing can happen to the little hands if you hit them right. But I mean, they're flimsy, so just any damage should be enough to do them in. EG sells infinite smithing stone, or somber smithing stones 1 and 2, so there's no need to farm this area, even though these guys drop a ton of level 2 smithing stone, somber smithing stones. I have to keep iterating. Just because I don't want someone to be like, I only got somber. Yeah, that's what they drop. The big hands are the big threat. Little hands, you'll be fine just bonking. And if you're like me, grossly overleveled, built into a faith build, you're fine. Faith dex, if we're being specific. A lot of the stuff you're going to find on bodies here is worthless. Yeah, poise is very critical in this area because of these hands. Because if you can't poise through anything, they will just repeatedly just chain stagger you. I hate it. I think it's stupid. I get it though. It is a way to kind of counter mage builds. Yeah, you gotta watch out for those little knives in the ground. They're never in a place where it's like, oh man, I'm totally screwed. It's places where you're like, oh, okay. More Albinarix. Now, I've joined a lot of people in this area trying to clear it, and it's a place where if you don't know where you're going, this place is dangerous. If you do know where you're going, this place is easy as can be. I should really consider just blocking while I'm moving. That. Can't remember what scarab this is. We'll see. Oh, Caria Piercer. That's not bad. Another one of the glintstone sword spells. It's I believe a thrusting one. It's serviceable. It does its job. It's not... I think it's Carrying Grandeur is the one that lets you charge 3 levels. That one's really good. We'll just charge up and swing. Yeah, I went through here a few times on my first playthrough without fire magic or fire weapons, and it was just a nightmare. But once I realized they're weak to fire, this place just loses all danger. And that's something too. Try to wait to hit them repeatedly, because if they're doing their burn animation, they're taking damage over time, and if you hit them out of it, I believe it stops the damage, or it seems to, and it's better just to buy yourself the time, because rarely is it just one hand in one area. And as you can tell, I'm kind of looking around, because you gotta look for the fingertips. Because otherwise that grab is actually devastating if you get caught by it. The little hands, I'm never concerned about the damage they deal. They can be difficult if they do their, like, rush attack, because just like the big hands, they will chain stagger if your poise is low. But, you know, flame weapon, you're fine. They'll maybe get a hit on you. You could also use a madness spell. Keep in mind, because they do fire damage. That, I think, is just a matter of preference, whether you like something like Black Flame or not. I like Black Flame because it does it seems to at least do the percent damage on top of their animation. I don't know 100%, but it seems like it. Yeah, Somber Smithing Stones. I ended up, first character, I helped so many people through this area. I ended up with over like 200 Somber Smithing Stones, and I just can't get rid of them. I've contemplated selling them for souls, but I'm not really strapped in that playthrough. Here, yeah, I would. I'm not gonna need that many. And I've seen so many people, too, they end up falling prey to a hand trap. Because it'll be an instance where there's like, oh, it's a body with an item sitting in the hand, and people don't look at what's around it, and you don't expect it. And then they get grabbed and smashed, and then I have to end up seeing the host has died, returning to your world sign way too much. And the thing is, everything out here isn't really worth it. Like, there was that shield, which you could probably find a use for. I mean, it's a shield. But there's no, major endgame item that's gonna carry you all the way to victory. It's all pretty basic stuff. I'm actually just gonna drink a flask here. I'm not at all concerned. There's a save point just past this area. So you can be... I don't want to say you can be aggressive, and I don't want to say you can be reckless. Because those are neither what you can be. You can be generous with your healing. You can be generous with your magic. You just need to have enough to get to the end. Okay, I think that's everybody. Oh, there's that guy. Because then just ahead, there's only going to be a few left. And I just like clearing these guys out because it's easy. The souls aren't great. 33 per tiny hand. But, it's something. Big hands are paying out. What are we looking at? Only 400. It's not the best, but, for having a crippling weakness that makes them almost insta-die, I can't say too much. Oh yeah, you gotta watch out for the purple ring attack. Yeah, I hate that attack. But that purple blast will paralyze you, and then they'll just rush on up and grab you and crush you. But you can roll through it, so it's not that difficult. Plus, you can also use terrain to block it. But that's everything down here, so now we can head on up. One thing I just remembered that I should mention is I got a third Talisman slot, which after beating Renala, I talked to the main finger reader lady, I think it's Enya, back at the round table hold, and she gives the third Talisman pouch to you. Or I guess second Talisman pouch, third slot. You don't get the fourth until you go through the capital city, which will be a bit. Now for this, we'll go back to our normal S-Stock, or not S-Stock, Epi. So we're going to be running through this twice. First time, we're just sprinting through, ignoring everything. Because we're going to have to deal with these guys eventually, and it's... For what we're doing, it's not worth fighting them. Frey Runark, never gonna say no. Jump off to here. And then jump off... Yeah. Jump off over to here. That roof, I believe, just continues you on, so we'll go down this ladder. Oh, you can open this door. I mean, it brings back down here. Considering you already have a fast travel point higher up, it's not really worth it, but it's whatever. And now we have the Sword of Night and Flame, or as I call it, the Sword of Meme and Flame, which lets you do the Comet Azure spell as like a weapon art, just a smaller version, and then a Flame Wave. So if you really feel like meme cannoning people to death, you can use it. Don't use it in PvP. Not out of like a, oh, it's dishonorable thing, but more of you're going to die 9 times out of 10, or miss. The ability locks in a certain direction. It's great for intelligence builds, but you get screwed over so easily. Because there's Great Sword guy there, so I didn't want to try aggroing him. This whole bridge is just mitigating the number of enemies at once. So it's like, oh, okay, one guy. You don't keep pushing, you just clear it, slowly move up, take the next fight. And I mean, a big threat here is obviously rolling to your death. I think it's out of range. Nope. It's not worth farming these guys. You know, you're getting Lord Sworn swords and general just garbage. If you want their armor, I mean, go elsewhere. There's guys all over wearing the armor. You can farm them. And there's a lot lower chance of you rolling to your death everywhere else. Now, we just ride this up. And we have another Site of Grace, so in that tiny area, you can be, once again, very generous with all of your healing and everything. Here, you can't be as generous, but it's whatever. Got these wolves, they're durable and thoroughly annoying. But they're spread out enough that you can deal with them. 'Cause there's one that came, one over there, and one over here. Depending on where the wolf is, I'm going to try to sneak by. Cool, I don't have to deal with it. Now you can charge in the front, but that's going to hurt. So, I advise you just jump over here and sneak around. The troll, every time I've killed him, he drops a troll knight greatsword. It's okay. I mean, it's what they consider a colossal greatsword. I still call it a ultra. It works, you know, it's a serviceable weapon. Requires intelligence. There are better intelligence strength weapons. So it's better to just sneak on by. Got a page there. That guy who didn't notice me, but usually you'll have to fight him. He was there, so why not? Because yeah, now they won't notice you. There's nothing on this side, so don't bother. We have our page here, and we'll just zap him. Hit this guy with the two-piece. And pick this guy off. A lot of the rewards here aren't really worth it. But we now have the boss fight. We'll see if we can find anybody just chilling right here. I doubt it. Because most people just don't. Alright, that's fine. Wasn't really expecting anybody. As long as I got my Skelly boys, I'm fine. Now, this is the one problem of the skeletal militiamen, is sometimes they're stupid and they like to stack up, and then something like this happens where one dies and then the other one stays too close. Yeah, I ate that one. We'll try to go for a Rotten Breath, get Scarlet Rot hopefully going. It didn't catch, that's fine. You know what, he's in water. Yeah, so that gives bonus damage. So I guess that's an option, just if he's in the water, hit him a bunch with lightning. Loretta's Slash, Loretta's Great Bow. The Great Bow is a good spell if you're intelligence-based. If you're not, well, you didn't get anything of value here. It sucks, but that's kind of the reality of it. And before we head over to Ronnie's Rise and that whole area, we've got some other areas to double back to. First off, I'm going to mention it here and now. There's a Hound of Radagon here and a Everjail here. I'll come back for the Everjail. The Hound is just, I don't even think he drops anything worthwhile. It's like a smithing stone. So I'm just going to kill him off screen. You know, it's not worth showing a boss, like a field boss who isn't even any different. It's the one from the Academy. Oh, I'm stupid. Well, at least I saw it coming. And at least my leading cause of death is just fall damage. Is that my bloodstain? No, that's someone else. Though it is someone else who also suffered the same fate. And down here we have a bunch of warrior jars. I don't like that you can't target them until they activate. It's like, I know what they look like, I know what they are. I ended up having a good laugh. A guy I know had just gotten into playing Elden Ring. I didn't tell him a thing, I just let him figure it out on his own. And he's like, yeah. First off, he did an all-strength build, which is pretty tough to do, at least early on. And he goes, so I've learned the bosses can be categorized into two things. Bosses that can that can be jump attacked and staggered continually, or crackheads who have insane combos. I was like, kinda? Yeah? I mean, that's the simplistic way of going about it. I mean, you can jump attack anything. It's just whether or not they can be staggered, and whether or not you're willing to put yourself in that position. Let's just eyeball this one. Yeah, still pretty good at that. And I figured I'd clear this area because it is here, there is stuff. And it is an area that I think a lot of people kind of ignore or don't know exists, because it's such a weird spot. Like, oh yeah, just keep jumping off the cliffs and you end up in a graveyard full of warrior jars. Then you get to here. Yep, there it is. Carrying Grandeur. The Ash of War, so if I want to, I could slap it on. But it's a int scaling, and even if you switch the scaling for your weapon, I believe the ability still has the intelligence, so it's not super worth it unless you're intelligence building. And if you are intelligence building, hey, more stuff for you to use. Oh yeah, now I remember this, yeah. Before we can even go to there, we should have a friend show up. Ooh. Forgot about the Scarab. Chilling Mist, that's a good one. Once again, int scaling. I hear it. There it is. Yeah, dragon. I knew there was one around here somewhere. So if you want to be real tricky, you can try to do what I'm going to try to do here. Well, damn. That worked perfectly. Okay. You can't kill him. Just as a heads up. Because at 50% health, this dragon will leave. What you can do, though, is just this and kind of cheat. You'll fight this guy later. Yeah. See, Adula is now gone. And we'll just jump stab. You'll come back here later, but it's good to reveal this. The creepy doll dungeon. Not even a dungeon, just a room. Celavis's puppets. This is important for Selen's questline. Now, there's the 3 towers here. That one, this one, which we can go mark, because the one over here is Rena's Rise. you're not going to have access to it for a while, so it's not worth much for the time being. But at least you have it marked. Yay. And then the far one is Celavis's Rise, who is the owner of the creepy puppets. And that's over to the south. But we'll first head here, because we should be able to talk to Ronnie now.
Oh, again we cross paths. I believe I said my name was Rena when last we met. It pleaseth me to see Torrent hale and hearty, but tarnished. What business hast thou here? I have no memory of inking thee an invitation. I see. Quite the sleuth, aren't we? Indeed, I am the witch, Rani. I stole a fragment of the Rune of Death, and used it to forge the god-slaying black knives through fearsome rite. I did it all. But sadly for thee, the curse mark thou seekest is not to be found here. I have slain the body I was born into and cast it away, and it is upon that flesh the curse mark is carved. And why should I reveal that to thee? I performed the act not to bury the past, nor in shame of the deed, but all the same, thy begging compels me not a jot. The curse mark thou seekest is not here. That is all I will say. Now, be gone. The curse mark now.
No matter what ending you do, it's probably best to at least do Ronnie's storyline, because it doesn't cut off any storylines, and it ends up opening up a bunch of areas for you. Like, all of up here gets opened up, so, you know, it's worth doing. And for her quest line, now we have to go talk to Roger, but I'll do that later. Because in the end, his story is just like, oh, well, we have to get the curse mark from her body somehow. You should join her. Give me skull. Now we'll dip down to Celavis's Rise, meet him, and we can buy a few summons off him. And I believe there is an item we can find. I don't think it's around this way. I think it's on the wall itself, which is fine. This is easy to scale on foot. Yeah, the Black Wolf mask. So now, if I really wanted to, I can make myself look kind of like Blythe. Which is cool. And actually, statistically, I think it's better than... yeah. Only advantage the royal remains have is weight. But I have an aesthetic to keep up. Gotta stick with the Mausoleum Knight look. Alright, so we have to come back here once we join the team effectively, and then it'll open up. We can talk to Celavis, buy puppets, get his goofy quest line. His quest line kind of sucks because whoever you pick during it, it cuts out a quest line, and like you can do it, but it depends on like, because it targets Nefeli Low or Dung Eater, and it becomes a matter of like, do you want Dung Eater's armor and the Sword of Milos, which is a really good sword, because then you kind of can't kill him, or you don't even kill him, you just turn him into a puppet. Hey, frozen armament. Now we have most of the ice spells. Screw it, we'll go kill the Radagon Hound. It's annoying. I don't want to do it, but I'm here. After getting that rest point, I was like, I'm already here. That's just down that way. I can summon Skellies. I'll just rotten breath it to death. We'll do this too. I can't remember. Royal Grave. A lot of these are kind of meh, if we're being honest. Like, most Everjails just aren't really worth the effort. I don't get how them throwing themselves sideways into you is that deadly. Man, I hope this doesn't go wrong. Because it very often tends to. Alright, get close. Target a Skelly. At least I got him with the rotten breath, so that'll speed this up. Yay, he's dead. Yeah. A Golden Rune 3. Some Mikola's Lilies. It's not really worth doing, unfortunately. Maybe I'm missing something. I don't know. But that's all this area has. Huh. I'm gonna have to investigate that now. But that is all for now. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to hit the like button. It helps out the channel a lot. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.